When it debuted on August 6, 2020, Lower Decks made Trekkie history as the first ever comedic series in the Star Trek universe. Exploring comedy was uncharted territory for the groundbreaking sci-fi franchise known for Strange New Worlds, but the risk paid off with Lower Decks becoming a hit for its streaming home Paramount Plus, then known as CBS All Access. Created by superfan Mike McMahon, Lower Decks is a loving Star Trek parody packed with Easter eggs that reference every iteration of the iconic property. The show follows the support crew of the not-so-important USS Cerritos as they carry out menial tasks. Unlike flagship starships like the Enterprise defending Earth from the Borg, the Cerritos and its crew are not considered the best of the best. By focusing on the Lower Deckers, Lower Decks explores characters and stories not usually seen in Star Trek's typical structure, and the results are pretty hilarious. You can catch up on past laugh-out-loud seasons now on Paramount Plus. Then get ready to warp into more absurdity when Lower Decks Season 4 beams down on September 7th, 2023. But first, let's take a look at the Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, meeting the actors behind the voices. Tawny Newsome as Beckett Mariner. Ensign Beckett Mariner brings the sass and rebellious attitude to Lower Decks, voiced by comedic actress Tawny Newsome. As one of the Cerritos' Lower Deckers, Mariner is often brash, reckless, and looking to stir up trouble. This frequently puts her at odds with the more straight-laced ensign Boimler. As the show progresses, we get to peel back the layers on Mariner's backstory, including her connection to one of Cerritos' senior officers. And underneath all that snark and bravado, Mariner goes through meaningful growth as she forges stronger bonds with Boimler and the rest of the crew. Lower Decks is not even Newsome's first sci-fi rodeo. She previously played the hilarious Captain Angela Ali for 2 seasons of Space Force on Netflix, opposite Steve Carell and John Malkovich. With her quick wit and rebellious attitude, Tawny Newsome's Mariner is the perfect blend of comedy and complexity. She keeps the show flying high with hilarity. But keep watching as we still have more amazing characters you wouldn't want to miss. Jack Quaid as Brad Boimler. Ensign Brad Boimler is the neurotic, by-the-books counterpoint to Mariner's rebellious ways, voiced by actor Jack Quaid. While Mariner lives for adventure on the Lower Decks, Boimler has big ambitions for rising through the Starfleet ranks. His perfectionism and rule-following constantly clash with Mariner's spontaneity. Yet over time, these opposites attract friends, help each other grow. Mariner pushes Boimler out of his comfort zone, while Boimler forces Mariner to confront parts of herself she would rather ignore. Gradually, we see Boimler come into his own, taking more risks and loosening up on the regs. Quaid is a popular face among the nerd community, known for playing Huey on the subversive superhero series The Boys. He has also lent his voice to Batman: The Long Halloween and got his big break in the Hunger Games films. With his neurotic energy, Jack Quaid makes Boimler the perfect foil to keep Lower Decks engines humming with hilarity. And if you think you have heard it all, the next character will surprise you. Noel Wells as Divana Tendi. Bringing wide-eyed enthusiasm to the Lower Decks is Ensign Divana Tendi, voiced by actress Noel Wells. As an Orion, Tendi has the iconic vibrant green skin that Star Trek fans will recognize from the original series. Serving in the Cerritos' sickbay, Tendi is possibly the most excited Starfleet fanatic you'll ever meet. Her eager tenacity could even give hardcore Trekkies a run for their money. She can't contain her sheer joy at being assigned to a Federation starship, even when faced with dangerous away missions and attacks on the Cerritos. As a new member of the crew, when we first meet her, Tendi helps introduce audiences to the Lower Decks world. But over the course of the series so far, her innocence is tested as she encounters lethal enemies and harrowing situations far beyond what she imagined serving on a starship would be like. Through this fish-out-of-water journey, the skilled Noel Wells brings infectious upbeat energy to Tendi. Her wide-eyed wonder at all things Starfleet is a perfect source of fish-out-of-water humor that grounds the show's zany adventures. Eugene Cordero as Sam Rutherford. Ensign Sam Rutherford adds a human-cyborg hybrid dynamic to the Lower Decks, brought to life by actor Eugene Cordero. Like his crewmates, Rutherford is still figuring out his path when we first meet him, trying to decide whether his skills are best suited for command, engineering, or medical. He eventually finds his groove in engineering, realizing he has a knack for solving problems, even if he's not yet as adept as Geordi LaForge from The Next Generation, who creator Mike McMahon has compared Rutherford to. Through his charmingly scatterbrained attempts at problem-solving, Cordero brings a lovable awkwardness and humor to Rutherford. His cyborg implants even allow for some fun sci-fi hijinks. Cordero is no stranger to beloved shows, having appeared in comedy favorites like Arrested Development, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and The Office. As Rutherford navigates his career and relationships, Cordero brings the perfect blend of humor and heart to his enterprise. Rutherford may still be figuring things out, but he always contributes crucial perspective and tech skills to save the day in his own fumbling way. Dawn Lewis as Carol Freeman. Commanding the Lower Decks adventures is Captain Carol Freeman, voiced by Dawn Lewis. Though the Cerritos isn't the most glamorous ship in the fleet, Freeman is described as a very capable leader by creator Mike McMahon. She also shares a secret familial connection. Freeman is actually Ensign Beckett Mariner's mother. Neither want the crew to know of their biological bond, which causes conflict as Freeman tries to get Mariner reassigned off of the Cerritos. When the truth does come out, it is emotional for both as Freeman and Mariner confront their complicated past and try to improve their strained relationship. Veteran voice actress Dawn Lewis brings a commanding presence to Captain Freeman, and fans will recognize her voice talents from projects like Inside Out, Toy Story of Terror, and Monsters University. As the woman in charge, Freeman acts as a foil to her rebellious daughter Mariner, but Lewis gives the character depth, highlighting her leadership skills while layering in the complexities of being a parent and CO. Jerry O'Connell as Jack Ransom. Playing the brawny, brazen first officer, Jack Ransom is Jerry O'Connell. As Captain Freeman's right-hand man, Ransom is essentially a faster, less inhibited version of the next generation's Will Riker, according to creator Mike McMahon. The muscular, mustachioed Ransom loves working out and isn't afraid to shamelessly mention it every chance he gets. He brings a bold, hyper-masculine energy to the Lower Decks. O'Connell clearly has a connection to Star Trek. He is married to Rebecca Romijn, who plays number 1 on Strange New Worlds. He has also lent his voice to many DC animated projects over the years. As Ransom, O'Connell gets to chew the scenery with his loud, larger-than-life presence. Whether possessed by alien energy or just acting out, O'Connell walks that fine line between arrogance and charm. Ransom may be impulsive, but he's a capable first officer who completes the Cerritos' command crew led by Captain Freeman. O'Connell brings that perfect bravado. Fred Tattershore as Shax. Providing gruff security chief energy is Lieutenant Shax, voiced by Fred Tattershore. As a Bajoran officer, Shax starts off stone-faced and no-nonsense when we first meet him. But after taking Ensign Rutherford under his wing, Shax opens up, revealing unexpected warmth beneath that rough exterior. He even sacrificially gives his life to save Rutherford in the first season finale, an emotional moment given their mentor-mentee bond. And of course, following Star Trek tradition of bringing back beloved characters, Shax later returns very much alive in Season 2, a tongue-in-cheek commentary on the revolving door of Trek character deaths. As Shax, Tattershore lends his signature gravelly voice perfect for Seen-It-All security chief that animation fans will recognize him as Lardnar from Invader Zim, Nikos and Harvey Birdman, Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and many others. Now, whether grumbling complaints or dispensing tough mentorship, Tattershore brings irresistible heart to Shax. His dynamic with Rutherford is a highlight, evolving Shax into a fully rounded crew member with plenty of surprises left. Gillian Vigman as Tiana. Providing prickly medical care with feline flair is Chief Medical Officer Tiana, voiced by Gillian Vigman. As a Catian, Tiana continues the legacy of the cat-like species first seen in the animated series. Creator Mike McMahon aptly describes her as a good doctor but unpleasant cat. Tiana can be aloof and standoffish, but beneath her coarse fur, she revealed hidden depths when mentoring Ensign Tendi in sickbay last season. Though nursing is not Tendi's calling, Tiana looked out for her, exposing the doctor's nurturing side. It was a nice evolution that exemplifies what Lower Decks does best, blend hilarity with heart. Vigman's vocals strike the perfect balance between deadpan humor and gravitas required for a Starship CMO. Tiana may be more feline fusspot than cuddly companion, but her sarcastic bedside manner and occasional pearls of wisdom make her the perfect chief medical officer to keep the Lower Decks in line.